Hey there, YouTube! Happy holidays! Here at Monster Nation, we like to celebrate the season with some Christmas-themed frights on both television and in film. I think this is going to be a really fun countdown, don't you, David?
On with the damn show.
God bless us, everyone.
I pledge allegiance to the flag.
There are two versions of the classic Tales from the Crypt story and All Through the House. One in the 1972 film Tales from the Crypt, and the other in the 1989 pilot for the TV series. Both of them contain the same basic suspense premise. A wife kills her husband on Christmas Eve, and when a psycho Santa shows up at her door, she can't call the police for fear that they'll discover her misdeed. EC Comics Tales from the Crypt were always morality plays, so any devious wife who kills her husband is sure to meet a grim end. The 1972 Freddie Francis film has the more stylish version, with the incomparable Joan Collins as the murderess and some very amusing pink blood, although the killer is played strictly for horror and is quite frightening. The 1989 version, meanwhile, is much campier and more humorous. It's directed by Robert Zemeckis, who brought us Back to the Future and What Lies Beneath, among many other films, and his wife at the time, Mary Ellen Trainor, appears as the murdering wife. Trainor had a cameo in Zemeckis' black comedy Death Becomes Her, while her husband, Marshall Bell, is the S&M addicted gym coach from Nightmare on Elm Street 2. This is a broader, wackier version, and it's a lot of fun to watch, especially the drooling, buck-teethed killer who delivers the unforgettable line, "Naughty or nice?"
Hey there, YouTube. Do you like the hat? I hope so. Because, frankly, this is about as festive as I'm going to get, at least within the confines of my own apartment. But, despite the lack of decor, I am bringing the next entry on our list, which is American Horror Stories Episode 8 in Season 2, titled Unholy Night. Directed by Michael Lehman and written by James Wong, this episode sees a Yuletide killing spree featuring Ian McShane as the deranged killer Santa Lee Emerson. His psychotic tendency has him murdering people on Christmas dressed as jolly old Saint Nick himself. Although not the last creepy Santa to emerge on this list, McShane's portrayal as the merry maniac is memorable. This episode also marks a great middle ground for the Asylum story arc. Seasoned baddie Lily Rabe as the demon-possessed nun in Briarcliff decides to bring some holiday sorrow to all those around her by releasing Emerson into the general population. This leads to an altercation as Sister Jude tries to regain power at Briarcliff. A showdown in Sister Jude's office has her squaring off against Emerson, as he has an old score to settle against Jude after she locked him in solitary for going apeshit at last year's holiday party. In many ways, this episode is the holiday break from the tapestry of plot lines that were all intermingling during this season. McShane brings a sarcastic, laid-back lunacy to his performance, and he is paired well with Rabe's possessed Sister Mary Eunice. If anything, it serves as a nice companion episode that reminds viewers that there is much to deal with in the remaining episodes. Still, if you're sick of A Christmas Carol, you can kill an hour with American Horror Stories' holiday special episode of Unholy Night.
Everybody knows A Christmas Story, Bob Clark's classic film about the Red Ryder BB gun and the leg lamp. But Clark directed another Christmas film, and for my money, it's infinitely better. That movie, Black Christmas. How do I love Black Christmas? Let me count the ways. This is a supremely stylish film. It predates Halloween and Friday the 13th by several years, and in fact it's one of the first slashers to ever use the killer POV shot. The whole thing concerns a killer making really, really disturbing, obscene phone calls to a sorority house over the winter holidays, and it has a wicked streak of black comedy that makes it a total classic. Margot Kidder has an unforgettable part as the drunken sorority sister. She delivers a monologue about watching turtles fuck at the zoo for hours on end. There's also a comic relief house mother who's always drunk and has booze hidden all over the house, everywhere from the toilet to inside of a book. An interesting story about this film, Steve Martin once approached star of the film Olivia Hussey and said, "I loved your movie. Romeo and Juliet," she asked, and he said, "No, Black Christmas." And Steve, I'm with you on this one. Black Christmas is a fantastic film.
The next film on our list provides a personal proclivity, as both its color scheme and my Christmas outfit are both in the same shades of black. Yes, I'm talking about the Tim Burton-produced 1993 stop-motion musical fantasy, A Nightmare Before Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Indeed. It's been heralded as one of the greatest Tim Burton movies that he never directed. Still, his personal Gothic stamp can be seen, heard, and felt throughout the entirety of this now cult classic. Here, director Henry Selick and Burton managed to merge the two most unlikely holidays by using stop-motion filmmaking and a great score by Danny Elfman that still holds up to this day. Here we see reigning Pumpkin King Jack Skellington of Halloween Town is bored with his constant routine and soon finds different doorways to other holiday-themed worlds. The one he stumbles into is Christmastown, where he takes this lighthearted, jolly attitude back with him. He becomes a quick fish out of water when he tried to explain this to the other townspeople. Add in a doll-like Frankenstein love interest in the form of Sally, and the plot thickens as Jack decides to Shanghai Christmas and Santa and bring his own special brand of holiday horror to the people of Earth. He succeeds in getting most of Halloween Town involved, but his attempts at good deeds go a bit south when his gift ideas aren't well received. After being shot out of the sky, Jack regroups to finish off the movie by rescuing his soon-to-be girlfriend Sally and Santa. Both sides make peace, and there you have the making of an animated classic in both story and technical achievements. Whereas the backstory for A Nightmare Before Christmas is as compelling as the film itself, I'm going to offer up a brief synopsis. Burton was an animator at Disney in the 80s where he first developed the idea as a poem. The poem was developed around the same time that another one of Burton's famous shorts. The legend goes that the idea for A Nightmare Before Christmas was stuck with Burton over the years. After having hits with Beetlejuice and Batman, Burton was able to bring A Nightmare Before Christmas into production. The talented cast and crew began to assemble the many sound stages, models, and musical numbers that were needed to give us this classic piece of stop-motion movie magic.
Keep him away from bright light, especially sunlight. It'll kill him. Don't get him wet. And you must never forget, no matter how much he cries, no matter how much he begs, never, ever feed him after midnight. I'm talking, of course, about Gremlins. This year marks the 30th anniversary of Gremlins. In fact, Empire Magazine reunited most of the cast and crew for a photo shoot, although they noted that Phoebe Cates was stuck up a chimney and not available. This is one of my all-time favorite movies. I've probably seen it close to 100 times since childhood. It's a brilliant mix of horror and comedy. In fact, one of the most successful horror comedies ever, I would say. And its creation actually led to the PG-13 rating. Parents were expecting another family-friendly Steven Spielberg production, but what they got were scenes of gremlins killed in blenders, exploded in microwaves, and an old lady being shot out a window. Guess it was a little more than they expected. The leads are very appealing. Zach Galligan and Phoebe Cates as the young, sweet, small-town kids who fight off the gremlins, and Polly Holliday is truly unforgettable as the Scrooge-like Mrs. Deagle. B-movie veteran and horror legend Dick Miller stars as the curmudgeonly but lovable Mr. Futterman. There is a remake of this film rumored to be in the works for several years now, which will probably use lots of bad CGI. Nothing, though, could ever compare to Gremlins and its wonderful practical effects, its wicked sense of humor, and everything else about it that makes it both heartwarming and horrifying at the same time.
Although not an official selection for our horror holiday countdown list, I couldn't help but throw this one in as a bonus, and that is Dolly Parton's A Smoky Mountain Christmas. Now, you might be thinking, what the hell does Dolly have to do with horror? Well, nothing, and neither does this film. But she does take on a very campy and delightful witch right around Christmas time. Yes, so I ask that you indulge me, that is if you're still listening and haven't switched over to porn. So the only thing to be scared of in this Henry Winkler-directed film is, well, nothing. This is a Dolly Parton vehicle where they try to fit in every idea they can for her. First, it's a loose adaptation of a fairy tale. Then it's Dolly versus the paparazzi. Dolly saves the orphans. Dolly gets a real man. Dolly defeats a witch. Oh, and did we mention it's Christmas time too? The best idea in this mashup is the witch, but more on her later. Here we see Parton playing the part of Lorna Davis, an unhappy workaholic country music singer who wants to spend some time away from civilization. In them good old peaceful mountains. Dolly, thy name is Range. Upon her arrival at a small cabin in the woods, Parton soon finds 7 orphans who have all been living in the cabin. Oh, children, the eternal answer to loneliness! And each one comes with their distinctive archetype, such as the snot-nosed one, the dirty one, the fat one, the one with rat-nest hair, the distrustful leader, and the worst of them, gingers. The fun standout in this movie, though, is Anita Morris as the mountain witch Jezebel. Audiences might remember Morris as Danny DeVito's mistress in Ruthless People, or as Carla in the stage version of the musical Nine. Here she misconstrues Parton as a possible rival for a lost lover in the form of a sleazy sheriff played by Bo Hopkins. It was the 80s, and Parton's holiday Barbie look was at its peak. Here she faces off against the brunette Barbie version of herself with Anita Morris, who, quite frankly, has a banging body. Some witchy fun includes Morris trying to lure Parton over a waterfall after putting a spell on her. Then there is an extended sequence in which Morris busts out a giant cauldron to brew up a potion for a poison pie that puts Parton to sleep. Seriously, if you see the movie, you'll see the cauldron. I'm talking it's like a mini jacuzzi. What did she need with all that poison for one pie for? She could have just used a blender or a coffee cup. The best part is when she drops a giant dead frog in the cauldron, though, and gets an automatic wind machine every time she casts a spell. And it does wonders for her hair. She is inevitably outsmarted by Dolly Parton in one of the funnier scenes in the movie. In her departure, though, the movie declines into another Hallmark-esque Christmas movie. We just hear Parton making a country song out of everything that she touches while running around with Lee Majors dressed as Santa. They do this while trying to save the 7 lice-ridden orphans. Still, I recommend that you watch it. See it now, on YouTube.
So there you have it, YouTubers, our horror holiday countdown list. May everyone have a wonderful holiday and an even better new year. See you then in 2015.
Jesus Crispy, subscribe!